Hey everyone, and a very warm welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a passage from the Quran that is just so quiet and refined, but at the same time, absolutely powerful. We're going to unpack the stories of two incredible figures, Zakariyya and Maryam, to really understand a profound message about what prayer, purity, and power are all about. So, let's get into it.
Okay, so picture this. The Quran has just been telling these huge, epic stories of prophets facing massive public challenges, storms, fire, entire kingdoms, and then all of a sudden, the camera zooms way in. There are no crowds here. There's no grand spectacle. Instead, it's all about this really intimate, powerful moment where a sincere, private prayer meets a divine response. It's a really powerful shift in perspective, right?
So our first stop on this quiet journey is with the Prophet Zakariyya. His story is all about a prayer that feels so human in its longing, but at the same time is so perfectly disciplined in how it's delivered. Honestly, it's like a masterclass in how to speak to God.
So here's the prayer he makes. Now, Zakariyya is old, his wife can't have children, and he's asking for a child. I mean, that's a moment of deep vulnerability. But you've got to pay close attention to how he asks. The wording is so precise, so brilliant, it just changes everything.
All right, let's break this down a bit. First, he's asking for someone to continue his mission, for companionship, not for the status of being a dad. Then, look at how he frames it. He ends with, "While you are the best of inheritors." What he's basically saying is, "My Lord, if I get what I'm asking for, it's from you. But if I don't, you are more than enough." See? This isn't him trying to strike a deal. It's just pure, raw longing, but it's completely wrapped up in this beautiful trust.
And this slide really shows you the difference, doesn't it? On one side, you've got this transactional kind of prayer, making demands, and if you don't get what you want, you get bitter. But what Zakariyya does, totally different. It's relational. It's a humble request that completely accepts whatever God decides. There's just no room for that bitterness to grow, because it's all built on trust.
So what's the result? Well, God responds. And the response is actually even more complete than what he even asked for. He doesn't just get a son, John or Yahya. The verse says God amended for him his wife, which means he healed her infertility. Think about that. God didn't just drop a gift into his lap. No, he repaired the entire family ecosystem to make that gift possible.
So the big question is why? Why was this prayer answered in such a beautiful, complete way? And what's amazing is the Quran gives us the exact recipe. This wasn't some random lottery win. It says they, and that's key, they, meaning Zakariyya and his wife, they rushed to do good things, they prayed with this perfect balance of hope and awe, and they had this quality called khushur. So what is this thing, khushur? Well, it's this state of really deep, quiet humility. It's not about being loud or showy with your piety. It's an inner thing, a posture of the heart, this fundamental feeling of submission and reverence before God. And this quality, the verse tells us, was absolutely central to why their prayer was heard.
Okay, and this theme just keeps building, because right after Zakariyya's story, boom, the Quran introduces Maryam. And her introduction, wow, it's just stunning. She doesn't show up with some big speech or prayer. Nope, she's introduced by her single most important credential.
She's literally introduced as the one who guarded her chastity. That's her calling card. Her moral integrity is her introduction. And it's from that solid foundation of purity that one of the greatest miracles in all of human history unfolds.
So, what's the lesson here? What can we take from this? Well, for one, it shows that God's honor follows your inner discipline, not how famous or visible you are. And get this, miracles don't require you to take moral shortcuts. The birth of Jesus happens without compromising her integrity one bit. She becomes this timeless symbol of faith without compromise.
And this is such a key point to understand. The Quran isn't talking about purity as this passive, weak thing, like you're just repressing yourself. No, it's presenting it as power, real power, but power that's under your control. It's a disciplined will, an active and powerful choice to maintain your integrity, especially under pressure.
Okay, so now let's pull these two amazing stories together. The Quran puts them right next to each other for a very important reason. And when you look at them together, they reveal this incredible blueprint for how our own character can actually invite God's intervention into our lives.
It's like they form this perfect triad of sincerity. So first, you've got repentance, which helps fix our past mistakes. Then you have Du'a, or prayer, like Zakariyya's, which is all about building the future. And finally, you have purity, like Maryam's, which creates this protected, guarded space where a miracle can actually grow. It's like a whole, complete spiritual discipline right there.
So,
What's the quiet message underneath all of this? It's that in a world that is just so full of chaos and noise on the outside, the Quran is pointing us inward. The solution starts inside you. Public chaos is healed by private sincerity. And this isn't just some fluffy, feel-good idea. This is a really high-discipline approach to your faith.
All right, so let's zoom out and wrap this up. What are the big picture takeaways from these two quiet, but honestly world-changing stories? What should we remember?
Okay, first off, prayer really works when it comes from a place of deep humility, not just desperation. Second, God isn't just listening to the words you say, He's responding to who you are, your lived character. Third, real purity isn't weakness, it's strength, it's power under control. And finally, and this is so important, the biggest miracles often happen in the quietest places, in sincere hearts, far away from the spotlight.
And that all boils down to this one powerful idea. It's this: God doesn't need a big show. He doesn't need crowds or performance from us. What He needs is alignment. The alignment of our hearts, our actions, and our intentions with what He wants.
And so that leaves us with a question to really think about. In this world that's all about noise, all about performance, how do we, you and I, actually build that quiet inner alignment that really truly matters most? Thanks so much for joining me for this one.